In this episode of NRE TV, Tom Nelson brings in help from the Formula One racing world to meet his customers' unique design requirements.
Well, here's the Twin Turbo Windsor. Quiet, real crazy setup. Some really nice stainless headers we fabbed up. So we're sitting here in the room, and just to make sure that you do believe me, this thing is running fucking three grand. 3,000. What do you think, Keone?
It's quiet.
The thing is quiet until you listen to the rockers.
Until you open the door.
So this entire screen right here is life racing, and this is monitoring pretty much everything, including wiping your ass. Alright, so we're doing a break-in here. 3,000 RPM, we've got about 110 foot-pounds of load, trying to seat the rings. In the 13s on the air fuel on the break-in. We've got a bunch of instrumentation on. We're monitoring all sorts of things. This has got dual drive-by-wire throttle bodies, so you've got throttle position 1, throttle position 2, fuel pressure 1, fuel pressure 2. We're actually got sensors in both rails. Engine oil pressure. We've got, kind of cool, we've got exhaust gas temperatures on both sides of before the turbine, so exhaust gas temperature 1 and 2. You pretty much name it. You've got your ignition timing, commanded and what it actually is, duty cycle, a whole bunch of stuff. So we'll be able to actually get data in the car. So we're pretty much instrumenting quite a bit of stuff on this engine. Chris here, he's the US Life Racing, and he's pretty much giving me an education on life racing right now. We're giving this computer a shot, and it looks like just an amazing setup. So I think by the end of the day here, my head's gonna hurt. Right there, that's our run time. So we've had the motor at 19 minutes and 45 seconds at 110 foot-pounds at around 3,000 RPM, just seating the rings in. And everything so far is looking pretty good. So hopefully at 30 minutes we're going to shut it off, and then we're going to take a look at this filter right here and make sure there's no nice shrapnel in there. And if there's no shrapnel, we're going to start going to town on this bad boy. A couple other things to show you is we're measuring exhaust gas temperature right before the turbine of the turbocharger. We've got our air fuel sensors right where they're going to be in the car. It's got 16 fuel injectors built into the intake. We're running this coil on plug. These are LT1 GM coils. And then we've got our Cobra head intake, Fuck yeah. Two completely separate fuel systems. So we got a fuel regulator for each set of 8 injectors on the intake itself. And then this here, this is the F90. This is one of the more badass, well, I guess, I don't know, they make so many of them. In our world, this is more one of the badass computers. But everything on the harness, if you look at it, it's all Raychem. It's got, everything's labeled. You know, this is going to the chassis. This would be alternator. C7. That's a coil number, cylinder number 7. C6. Right here is EGT2. The dyno's actually picking that up right now. Another alt deal. This is the cam sync. So everything drive-by-wire 1, drive-by-wire 2. We've put a combination air temp and map sensor built into the manifold, and we've done everything on Wiggins style clamps because we don't want to end up blowing off the charge tubes. So inside of here, they're all there's O-rings and this special clamp to put it on. And of course, the best turbos that you could ever imagine, NRE. And we V-banded the inlet, outlet, and discharge, although it's Wiggins on the discharge. So there's these big air cleaner tubes that we've made. It's got a multi-stage dry sump system into a really nice steel pan. And this is just the dyno dry sump tank for testing purposes. But another cool thing that we're doing here is we're measuring temperature coming out of the discharge of the compressor, and then it's re-verified after it comes through the intercooler into the plenum with that sensor right there. Our blow-offs are right here by the throttle body, and you know, all of this is just rough for the dyno, so you know, don't crucify me for having some weird lines everywhere. But it's pretty badass sitting here picking up tips from Chris on how to use this life racing. This thing pretty much does everything but wipe your ass. And then we've got additional lambda sensors in the exhaust here. So 4 O2s that we're monitoring it with. Something also neat is we've got a cam position sensor in here, and that's really helping us with the knock in the motor. Chesil belt drive, we just found that retarding the cam, really the motor liked it. We got a 58-2 crank trigger with one hell of a fucking gnarly fucking mag sensor. Probably the raddest mag sensor I've ever seen. And here we go. Here's the F90RX. Probably be seeing a lot of these in the future. Pretty excited to use it. And then that guy, that's the guy who you're going to talk to if you need an F90RX or anything Life Racing, because he is the Life Racing distributor for the US.
Or if you want to check the moonshine, I can do that too.
Okay, yeah, I forgot all about that. Screen right here, this is the, we've got adaptive knock in this engine. And so it uses a cam sensor, and it knows what position it's at. And basically, these are the 8 cylinders, and it's basically running a, you know, audible knock right there. The bank 1 through 4 is different than 5 through 8, and that's because of the location we have on the sensor, which we're going to go and modify in a second here. But that's also something neat to point out, is we've got all 8 cylinders reading knock, and then if we see knock, then we're able to take timing out on that specific cylinder versus all of the cylinders, and we're also able to change fuel, etc. on that specific cylinder because we're doing it sequentially. So just to show you, we've got, you know, what does that represent? 15, what is that?
It's the noise level of that particular
But
knock sensor.
what is 15? Is it
It's
like
a percentage of saturation of the knock sensor.
Okay, so we've got like 15, so that's basically a percentage of saturation of the knock sensor. So we've got, you know, different noise levels, semi-uniform on 1 through 4, but you come over to 5 through 6 and they're quite a bit different. So I'll let Chris explain to you what he's gonna do.
Yeah, so I can go into each individual cylinder and add a gain percentage to each one to level out all the noise levels so they're all even.
So that's pretty cool, because what it's going to do is then we, you know, although the sensors are reading different levels of noise, they're located in a different spot on the engine. So he's going to even them all out, and that way the noise that we're seeing is even on all 8 holes. You know, one of the reasons why we're really concentrating on it, this is really truly a pump gas engine. So it's running on 91 at up to a certain horsepower, and then we have a flex fuel sensor that's going to, where you can pour in E85 and then the sensor will sniff it and then go ahead and you can even turn more horsepower, more boost to it. But we really want to be able to see if the motor knocks, because, you know, the minute you get into detonation, it's done. So it's a pretty important deal that we've got going on in this motor. So what's the terminal? This is called adaptive knock with Life Racing, yeah?
Yes, so what you can do, there's a learning table, so it will actually adjust each individual cylinder and start filling in a table, because each cylinder knocks at a different rate. So, you know, if you want to pull 2 or 3 degrees out of cylinder number 2, the rest of them can have all the timing in there that they need to make full power.
So for everybody watching, this number here, this is the actual noise of each cylinder. This number here, this is the actual threshold that Life Racing is basically pre-programmed into the unit to see. So to make a long story short, if this number goes past the threshold number, then that's actual knock, and then you'll see it come up on the screen over here. So, I mean, it's a pretty fucking trick. I mean, you've got your, you know, your knock noise here. Chris has adjusted it, so now these numbers are more even. So he added gain to the different cylinders that we're getting, that were different from each other. You know, when we get that in the car, we're gonna have to switch it around again.
Yeah, we can fine tune it in the car.
But, you know, putting this in the car, we'll actually have to readjust those again. But on the dyno right now, this is what we're looking at. And, you know, if we see some knock in these different cylinders, then we can go in and trim them. Oh yeah, oh yeah, coming on boost already, dude.
Yeah, she's snappy.
Fuck yeah.
Thing's badass. Pretty responsive for not even mapped it yet.
Yeah, no doubt. Bass tune, that thing sounds fucking crispy, dude.
She's a runner.
It sounds real nice and stable at that RPM. Even the RPM seems really nice and stable, you know? Just, you know what, let's just do a tug and then we'll go do some, you know, then we can do
What do you want me to run it up to on the first one?
58.
3,500 to 58?
Yeah. That's probably gonna fucking be.
I'll yank out of it if it don't look good. What's your leanest air fuel you want to see?
13.
See those coils? That was 10 AF on the top.
Holy shit.
Those coils were lighting that shit off.
Oh my god. So we got 650 horsepower, 5,800 RPM. We don't know what the boost is on that. We have to look at the log there, but I think it's pretty damn low. It's kind of weird. I was seeing a bunch more torque earlier. Do we have some boost put into it or something?
Well, we'll see. Still need to work on it on the top. Yeah, it's because it's rolling over. It's rolling over 5,000 onwards.
661 horsepower, 670 foot-pounds, 3 pounds of boost, and still rich. We're right where we want to be coming in.
Yeah, it's actually, I should leave it alone. 4,000, I was going to do it up here.
So what he's doing right here, he's grabbing everything above 4,000. He's taking fuel out. Everything above 4,000. Yep.
Getting better.
671. Fuck, we're gonna break 700 horse, dude, with fucking 3 pounds of boost.
It's good to go. They don't live forever like that.
It would fucking live forever with that.
Leave it.
That was the max horse of the old one anyways.
It was.
750 was claimed, but I don't think so.
That's when the intake was cold.
Yeah. That was after 2 seconds it started detonating.
Yeah.
I always found, like, once you develop the curve, you can just start adding.
Yeah.
You know, so once you get the look of the curve,
Yep.
that's why I like to start off, you know, at the lower boost and get the curve looking right.
That's exactly what I do. I do that sometimes with NRE engines. I'll just fling them wide open. I'll fling them wide open, see what the curve looks like, and then I'll just ramp it down and then go in and look at everything connector.
So we're monitoring the air intake temperature, and we're also monitoring turbo outlet temperature. We've got a sensor in that coming right out of the compressor. So those are the 2 temperatures coming out of the turbo, going into the motor.
So do you want it leaner than this?
I actually like to fucking try to get as much as I can,
Okay.
flat table if we can. I mean, because we're not going to get the chance to do it too much with the higher boost. I don't really want to beat the fuck out of it. 25 pounds, you know?
Just hold it. 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Cool thing about these too is if you want to go in and add breakpoints into the map, it's quite easy to go in. So if we want to go in and split this up some more, we got a weird area where the thing's having trouble.
You can widen it out.
Yeah.
Started sounding intakey at the end there, dude, huh?
Did you see the flame come out that gate?
No.
Yeah, it was a flame come out the gate on that side.
Yeah, that looks pretty good, dude. You know?
Yeah, these are super fast.
Yeah.
These sensors.
That's looking pretty fucking good. So, I mean, to point out here, we've got like a 0.3 change in the entire air-fuel ratio. Maybe a little more, but I mean, it's fucking pretty dialed. You got 12.31 as a lean spot, and then you got 11.89, so maybe 0.4, but holds it pretty good. We could probably make it even nicer, but that's good. We're not really going to be running it at 3 pounds of boost. We just wanted to establish what a fuel curve is going to look like in this thing. So basically, I'd say this is, should we go, we can rev a little more to still make it power, but let's just keep it at 61 for right now. 678 horsepower, 674 foot-pounds of torque. I saw 6 pounds.
Flamed again.
See the flame?
Yeah.
Cool. 755, 11.8 on the air fuel.
So there you have it. This fucking, how many was that? 6 or 7 pounds of boost?
6.
I saw 6, but we'll see what it is. Yeah. That's crazy. See, that's where inductive and other shit are totally different, you know?
That's also where the knock system's in there to stop your engine.
Yeah.
So let's see if it was still picking up any knock. So if that being said, that's 8 pounds of boost, and that's at 160 kPa. You want to fatten it up, or you want to leave the timing in there and fatten it up?
Fatten it up, it's not going to hurt anything to fatten it up, you know?
So let's leave the timer where we got it right now. I think when you boost is going to go higher, I think we're going to find
We're going to pull more timing out of the thing.
Yeah, so if you only want to do it, we'll do it. We're at 160 kPa right now. We'll add 3% into it up there. We'll just do 140, so it's smoothed it out. We'll do 2%. That should fatten it up. We need to tweak the base duty as coach.
See, mine's like a fucking Swiss watch, dude. See, it's been running fucking hour and a half already. You're up in the
duty control.
Well, that's gonna put more boost to it, yeah.
It is, yeah. I can put it back down for now while we're fiddling. I can make it command what we just ran, which is 160.
I mean, I think that's a better idea until we get a handle, because we still had a knock on it. Or did you take it out of that one cylinder?
No, I just rigid the whole thing up and left it. So let's change the target back. So we change this to 160, because that's what that run was,
yeah.
160. So we'll command 160. It's still going. Yeah, it's kind of just leveling now. It's up there. 1550 is an inlet in the turbo. You should cool it down now with some more fuel.
Something fell off pretty good on the end there.
823, it was 11. It took it down to 11.6s on the air fuel.
What did the EGT look like on that?
It was better than it was on the prior run. It was 1585 on the other one, so it cooled it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I find the fuel is pretty effective on the EGTs. I like all the quick keys that the LR has. Once you start using it a lot, you find yourself using all the quick keys for everything.
Let's see what that did for the knock, you know?
Fucking air fuel looks sick. Let's make sure the fuel pressure is good. Let's go straight to the knock. Some noise over here. I think the boost went up as coach.
So right here,
3.
this is cylinder number, what cylinder is that?
2's gone away. 2 went away, but we picked up some knock on 3 right here.
So
that's cylinder 5.
So we're able to see cylinder number 5 is actually detonating based off of the audible knock sensors and where the motor knows where the position it's in.
So now we're getting closer on the wastegate duty control. These lines are getting closer, so the system's not having to work as hard. So that was 8.4 pounds.
So at 8 pounds of boost, we're making 800 and, what was that last pull, 850 horsepower or something? 823 horsepower, 8 pounds of boost.
You want to fatten it up a scotch more?
Sure.
You should.
I mean, do you want to take more timing out of it? It seemed to.
It didn't hurt it. I mean, it's still making power, so I mean,
yeah. Okay.
I would probably I'd ramp this down to maybe 18, and then just start pulling it down. Like by the time this thing's at, okay, 223, 18 pounds. What are you gonna run this thing up to? What do you want to take it to?
Oh, wherever, I don't know. I mean, we might fucking just turn it all the way up just for the hell of it today. I don't know.
The E85 is gonna be a whole different kind of fish. I think you're gonna love that. We can make a whole different table for that. It's like 10 2s, 10 5s. Like
Really?
the EcoBoost is like 10 2-ish. Ford run those things super rich. So that was 160 kPa, so we can take 147. You're gonna run it on E85 too, so push your power levels up there.
My real goal is, 1,000 on pump if that could be done, but I don't want to hurt it, obviously.
Yeah.
And then whatever it makes on the 85. Like this motor normally would make about 980 at 14 pounds, and about 14 at, well, I don't know what this fucking intake,
Yeah.
25 pounds it'd make about 14, 13-ish, 14-ish. Whacking that thing, huh?
Yeah, it's the controller. Maybe that might just pull the timer back there and pull it back. Doesn't seem like our fuel is fucking money. Could be the boost moving around, but it's not. Yeah, it's 8. It's moving around a pound. Man, it's fucking ain't much. I can't believe it's that sensitive. The controller looks good right here. It is, I mean, it's moving around. Like that.
Yeah, I definitely wanted timing, but
So look at the knock sensor.
I mean the air fuels are solid. It's the only thing that makes sense that it's doing is the boost controller is doing it,
Yeah. So what do we got right there? So that's 5,600. Yeah, it peaked right there because it's just sensitive, this engine, I think, to a little bit of boost.
Right. It will get less sensitive the more boost you throw at it in these. I'll tell you for sure in the 8 to 13 pound range, this motor seems to be sensitive. Like it picks up good power to a point and then it starts saturating, Dude, the thing's not too bad on fuel. It's like 2 hours running right now.
Fuel efficient, man. Turbo.
Yeah, sounds good there.
See the two.
It's definitely been way too many hours right now. So now we're putting the motor on E85. The motor has a flex fuel sensor built into it. I'll actually go and show you where that is. So we wanted to run the pumps that were going to be in the car. So we ran a fuel tank just like it is in the car. And then, so we got our fuel pumps here. And then over here is our flex fuel sensor. So the pump pumps it through this flex fuel sensor. And that sniffs how much, or what, if it's pump gas or if it's E85. But we didn't like the fact that the flex fuel sensor was really restrictive. So we widened it and ran the main fuel line to the engine. So the pump is pumping past the E85 sensor, but it was restrictive, so it still sniffs the amount of fuel going through it, but we didn't want to restrict the motor. And this here, we've got these Rick's hats, and it's actually got 4 fuel pumps in this fuel tank, which is kind of cool. So
we're 85%, so we're good.
So we've taken this little quick fuel thing, you put a little water in there, you add water to this line right here, then you pour your E85 fuel to that line, you shake it up, and it dissipates and it tells you your percentage. I'm not sure if this is focusing right. It's not right. Okay, right there, and it shows you we got 85% E85, so we know we have true E85. We're gonna pour it in the tank. Keone here, he's pouring, it looks like an oil can here, but it actually is E85 into this tank. And we're gonna get ready to rock and roll and see what kind of power difference. The 85 is naturally 105 octane, so this should make, and it tends to cool the charge a little bit. So it tends to, it'll allow us more timing and more boost. It fucking likes the 85, that's for sure.
It's an alcoholic.
It's an alcoholic for sure. That's 855 raw, pretty much same as on the gas, but we're able to put timing in it, and being able to put that timing in there plus the higher octane of the E85, it's liking it.
It's better. Let's it right through this mid-range, right on the transition.
So we're grabbing all these cells right now. And we're just interpolating them up. Fucking torquey, dude.
Yeah.
It sounds good, man. It sounds like a fucking sewing machine, dude. Keone's asleep over here, thinks he's on a jet.
Can't believe I've been doing this long without a cup of tea. Way past it.
Fuck tea, dude. Tea gives me, I'm pretty convinced tea gives me a kidney stone, dude. No joke.
Really?
Yeah.
Hope that's not the case. I don't really want one of those. I think we're safe enough to do a poll now.
Alright. So we basically
Just gonna add just a scotch up here.
put like a base map. So where would you say that is in percentage over the gasoline right now?
I'll tell you exactly here. What do we got? 530. I've added 35% fuel
Okay.
in is what I've added.
So we've gone ahead and added 35% more E85 comparative to gasoline, and that is getting us to an air fuel ratio that we're happy with. So we're gonna go ahead and do a tug, first tug on the 85.
Let's see what time is that. Should be. Make sure it's blended in. .25-ish now.
Yeah, almost 26 with no boost, so it'll come back down. So it's definitely more aggressive than what we had on the pump gas. We actually had some really low timing to keep things safe on the pump gas.
Okay, it should be 180 kPa roughly.
Oh yeah, certainly like that.
Almost 1,000. They do the exhaust temps. Look at the difference, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at that. It's almost 100 degrees.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And it was lean,
Yeah.
but it's also because we got timing on the fucking thing.
Yeah.
All right, so the 9-pound pull right here. pounds. That's pretty fucking stout for 9 pounds, dude.
990.
990.9, dude.
Fatten it up down in through here.
990.9 horsepower at 9 pounds of boost. That's fucking rad. And it's got fucking 984 foot-pounds behind it with 854 at 4,000. This thing's gonna be a fucking rocket.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Thing's definitely knocking.
Number 2 is a fucking orny little sucker, dude.
Yeah.
So that's way bitchin' there, huh?
Yeah, that's the same ones that knocked prior.
Yeah.
Here,
So these little lines here, these are indicating very small amounts of knock. And our number 2 cylinder seems to be pretty irritable, so we just fixed number 2. He's not there anymore by taking 2 degrees out of number 2 specifically. Oh, doggy.
1059, man.
1059, 1066. And what boost level is that? Oh yeah.
Ooh, almost 1,200 foot-pounds.
1,200 foot-pounds, 1,188 horsepower. At what boost level here?
17th.
Fucking still 17 pounds. Dude, we didn't change the boost curve, did we?
Oh, I didn't change it.
Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, man. So 17 pounds is almost 1,200 horsepower, dude. This thing's pretty stout. 1,200 foot-pounds, too.
Yeah, that's fucking badass. 1,200 foot-pounds. It's gonna pitch that thing sideways.
1,200.
Dude, look at it though. Look, all the way through here.
I know, it's fat.
Like,
Insane.
yeah. But it's breaking 1,000 horsepower, 4,500 RPM.
Yeah. And you're rolling it quick. We're not stalling it there. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
wasn't
gonna.
holding it.
Yeah, the fucking foot-pounds on the bottom would be way heavier. Daddy-o, at least we're at 12 now.
Woo, 1236, 1241.
Oh,
You got a
shit.
square number almost. 11.5s on the air fuels.
1,236 horsepower, 1,241 foot-pounds,
18 pounds, 19 pounds.
19 pounds of boost. The motor may fucking in the 30s if we wanted to, so lots of room. But we got a lot more to develop on it, so this is our stopping point.